Hi everyone, it's Mitch from SportsChatPlace.com. It is Friday, January 18th, 2019, here with your free live show. Of course, we're here live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Of course, Fridays are free-for-all Fridays, meaning every single question, that every single game we go over on the show comes from you guys, whatever, and ladies, whatever games you want to go over. Nothing is off limits. So today's the day. I know a lot of people always asking questions on games, but of course, Free for All Friday is the day where it's all about you guys as far as what games you want to see, what games you want me to talk about. Of course, we do a minimum of 3 free picks on this show every single day. Our best bet's always over at SportsChatExperts.com as well as SportsChatPlace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. Seems, I don't know if I'm frozen on YouTube or if I'm not frozen on YouTube. Can't really tell. If it's, says playback doesn't begin shortly. Try restarting your device. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means it's me or if it's YouTube. We'll just do a reset. But I don't know. I see you guys commenting. I see people joining us on YouTube. So hopefully that means it's working. Anyways, you do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bets. Always at SportsChatExperts.com as well as SportsChatPlace.com, Premium Plus. Yep, we hit our parlay over at Picks and Parlays last night. So, I do every Thursday. I do the parlay video at Picks and Parlays. Total transparency. I own that site also, at least part of it. A good part of it. The good part. Yes, I own part of Picks and Parlays. The good part of it. Anyways, of course, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bets over at SportsChatExperts.com as well as SportsChatPlace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. I don't even know what that means. I just want a combined odd of 10 at max to win some money. Vexing. 10 plus. I don't even know what the hell that means. I need an interpreter sometimes for your questions. Of course, it's Free for All Friday, so if you guys have a game you want me to go over, either today or all weekend long, just let me know. I know the point spreads aren't out on a lot of these games for tomorrow as far as college basketball goes, but we can still take a look at them and come up with a number. But, of course, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. So I had a really heated discussion with Craig Trapp again over why Tom Brady isn't the greatest quarterback of all time, or even the greatest. Not only is he not the greatest player of all time, he's not even the greatest quarterback of all time. And if you go and look at his numbers throughout his career, he's no better than Matthew Stafford. And if you look at if you look at the numbers comparison over the same era, Drew Brees has him smashed. I mean, it's not even close. Tom Brady's led the league in passing twice. He's led the league in passing touchdowns twice in 15 years. Drew Brees has led it, I think, 6 times over that same era. Matter of fact, Tom Brady's led the NFL in passing the same amount of times as Jim Everett. Anyways, do at least 3 free picks on this. Yeah, we'll do an 11-team parlay with the reverse kicker. Not even sure what the hell that means. We'll just make up terms as we go along. Anyways, you do at least 3 free picks on the show every single day. Our best bets over at SportsChatExperts.com. It is Free for All Friday. We don't answer question thoughts. It's Team A versus Team B with the point spread is the way these are done. If you want a total, Team A versus Team B with the total. So far, we have no consensus as to what people want. So I'm just going to pick my own game because we're 5 minutes in. That means we start picking. First game, we're going to go Ohio State versus Maryland. I was going to give this out as a premium pick, but it almost seems like a sucker bet. I think Maryland is the better team here. We've been riding the Terps all season long, and you guys know on this show, we've taken them as a favorite. We've taken them as an underdog, but that +3 at Ohio State is a little strange to me. I think maybe just people have caught on that Ohio State not that good. Maryland, very, very good, and probably going to mess up some people's brackets in the fall or in March, in the spring, if they don't pay attention now. So I'm going to say that I like Maryland in this one. I'm going to lay the 3 points. That'll be our first pick for today's show. Of course, those of you that are wondering what I do when I'm doing this, when I'm writing things down, I'm just writing down the picks. You can see right there. And then this way, at the end of the show, I can recap. I just pick out a piece of paper. It happens to be that my desk generally has a lot of paper lying around. This is my boarding pass from my flight the other day. When I was coming home from Vegas. Just happened to be sitting on my desk. It's going to be now part of our show and what we write our stuff down on, at least for today. Anyways, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bets over at sportschatexperts.com. Richard, that's the way you do a question right there. Seems that everybody has a different question, but that's the second one on that game. So that's the third one. Well, no, it's actually Richard has the same question twice. Lewis doesn't watch my videos. So, yeah, a lot of people asking about this game. It's, this one we have the San Antonio Spurs against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, let's just take a quick look at it. Read down some numbers. So we have the latest and greatest. So we do our live handicapping. We call it mini handicapping. Well, that's a term I just flew off the top of my head. It's not really mini handicapping. It's kind of handicapping on the fly. That's what we're doing. It's a lot of these. So Minnesota opened as a 1-point favorite, up to 1.5. 48% of the public money is on Minnesota. So a slight inverse line movement here for the Timberwolves, which lean us in that direction. Yeah, I don't know what Scott Perry wants. You want to go to Rutgers? I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. But anyways, I'm showing as much as a -2 on this game as well over at DraftKings and 888. Of course, if you live in New Jersey, you can sign up for those sports books in our Facebook group. We have great offers for those books for New Jersey residents. But when we look at this one, the Spurs are coming off of a win at Dallas, 105-101, but they lost their 2 prior games, Charlotte and then at OKC. Before that, they beat OKC at home. It was a home and home, and boy, they were just red hot heading into that recent recent bump in the road. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves looked like they had been putting it together since the Jimmy Butler trade. But actually, their wins have come against kind of the middle-of-the-road teams and not the better teams. Losing at home to Dallas, losing on the road to Philadelphia, a win at home against New Orleans mixed in there. So kind of mixed around as far as this game goes, making this one a pretty tough call. Even though we're seeing heavy money here on the Timberwolves, we know when you count Pop out, that's usually when he hits you the hardest. On paper, the Spurs pretty even offensively here. Defensively, The Spurs are a little bit better. I think these teams are very even, and the records certainly show it. But I like the Spurs here. We're getting 2 points, 1.5. We'll take the 1.5 to 2, whatever it takes. I think the Spurs win this game. So we'll take the Spurs plus 1.5, and that'll be our second pick of today's show. Of course, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bet's always over at sportschatexperts.com as well as sportschatplace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. And if you're watching us on YouTube Live, if you could hit that thumbs up, we greatly appreciate it. Shouldn't take you more than a second. Yeah, it's Steve Short asking 2 questions at once. No idea what that means. Just quickly, my moment of silence here, which is always magnified when you're on video or on live, it just seems that when you pause for a second, it seems like it goes on forever. But what I'm doing is I'm just looking through all the comments really quick to see if I can get any get a handle on what games you guys really want to see. So Buffalo minus 15.5 against Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan absolutely terrible this season. Buffalo has been covering big numbers like this at home all season long. Of course, they did not cover the 13.5 last time out against Western Michigan. They won the game, didn't cover. Buffalo is still just the one loss this season against Marquette. They're going to pound Eastern Michigan in this thing. I love this one. We'll take Buffalo minus the 15.5. That'll be the third pick of today's show. Of course, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bet's always over at sportschatexperts.com as well as sportschatplace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. Keith saying he likes the shirt. I've gotten a lot of like the shirt comments. I like this shirt too. And he's asking if I like John Mayer as far as part of the Grateful Dead. The answer is no comment. I'm kind of like, I don't really follow Dead and Company. I don't really listen to their stuff unless it's on Sirius on the XM radio and I just happen to be in a spot where I can't change the channel. I'll listen to it, but generally I just like the regular Grateful Dead with Jerry Garcia. That's the Grateful Dead that I used to go see often, and that's the Grateful Dead that kind of like I grew up with, and the Grateful Dead, why I like the Grateful Dead. But as far as John Mayer, I know he does a good job, but he's not Jerry Garcia, and we can't even expect him to be. It's not like we expect him to be Jerry and he's not. It's just he's not. So it's just not the same band as far as I'm concerned. It's kind of like if Mick Jagger left the Stones, right? It's like, and you got somebody else to sing, and even if it was Mariah Carey or something, right? It's not the Stones, right? It's just not. So it is what it is. Anyways, we do at least 3 free picks. Our best bet's always over at sportschatexperts.com as well as sportschatplace.com, Premium Plus. Brian Bittler, we could have as many friendly bets as you want, but until you show up in Vegas, I'm never going to get paid, and you're never going to get paid. So, pretty hard to have friendly bets when no one ever gets paid. Keith agrees. Jerry is the man. Yeah, everybody's going to want T-shirts when they come out. We'll deal with that when we get them ready. I saw a few designs this morning. I didn't like any of them. No surprise there. I don't think anyone's surprised. First round of designs that I saw on the T-shirts, I didn't like any of them. I like the old design that I had, the T-shirt that you guys see me wearing. I like something similar, but in that one, I think the Sports Chat Place needs to be the emphasis, and not the free picks. Yeah, AJ Lewis, that's pick's been done. It's been done. Anyways, let's see what we got. Oh, it's Saints against the Rams. I guess they're playing, right? But anyways, Saints are playing the Rams. It's a football game called the NFC Championship game. This one's at the Superdome. Drew Brees and company. Man, what a monster year Drew Brees has had. I mean, you want to talk about, the greatest of all time or whatever, and you say Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. Hard to even, his numbers don't hold a candle to Drew Brees' numbers. Not even close. And you know what? He hasn't had half the teams to work with that Tom Brady has had to work with. Of course, the spread in this game has dropped from 3.5 to 3. I see it at 3 all over the place. Minus 120. And the total dropped from 57 to 56.5. I like the over in this one. I think this one has the potential for some big scoring. That Rams defense has been a sieve. And the Saints defense has been pretty rock solid all season long. But the Rams are going to have to play a wide open style. I think against the Eagles, we saw some holes in that. We saw some holes in that Saints defense, and we know what the hole is called. Eli Apple, the former Ohio State cornerback, former New York Giant cornerback. The Saints have not been covering the spread, though. In the last 4 games, they haven't covered. Meanwhile, the Rams have covered in their last 3. But, you're playing Arizona, San Francisco, Dallas. Meanwhile, the Saints played a much tougher schedule the last 4. Those games they didn't cover. They played at Carolina, at home against the Steelers. The loss at home to Carolina, which was nobody played, none of their starters played, and then, of course, that win against Philadelphia where we had the Eagles in that game plus the points. I came on at halftime, and I gave out the plus 7.5. Thing about this one is I expect to see a lot of points in this game. The Rams defense has given up points in bunches, 22 against Dallas, they made Dak Prescott look like a legitimate NFL quarterback as far as his arm. We like the way Dak manages a game, and of course a quarterback that can run the ball is always something nice. It's a nice thing to have. But as far as Dak Prescott's arm, especially when he sits in the pocket, we saw him able to zip some balls over the middle against that Rams defense. Made it a little bit uncomfortable. I know the Rams covered in that game, but it was dicey at best. So the Rams gave up 22 in that game, 32 against the Niners in a game where they played their starters because they needed it. Remember to get that first round bye over the Bears. The week before at Arizona, only allowing 9 points. Josh Rosen's their quarterback. Of course, they allowed 30 against Philly at home. Go back to that Kansas City 54-51, right? They allowed 31 at home against Seattle, 45 when these teams played the last time. The last time these teams played, it was 45-35. So 80 points scored in that one. All we need is about 25 less to cover the over in this thing. I like the over. Generally, it's like a boxing fight. Boxing, the first 2 or 3 rounds of the fight, sometimes even 4 or 5. It's that feeling out process, and it's kind of like in a lot of these really close fights that we've seen over the years, those are the rounds that actually decide the fight. But, the second fight between those same fighters, or the third fight between the 2 fighters, generally, the first round, they pick up right where they left off, and I expect this football game to pick up right where it left off. I like the over in the Rams-Saints game. I know it's going the opposite direction, but the line, but I'll take the over, and I expect to see plenty of scoring. Both these teams, they know how, they've obviously found some of the weaknesses. I don't have a strong opinion on the over-under in Kansas City game. No, I don't. Yeah, there's nothing. Rod says there's nothing wrong with capper versus capper bets. I agree with you, but the problem is if they don't ever get paid, then why make the bet? It's kind of like, it doesn't need to be a lot of money or a big thing. And Brian and I, we bet dinners, we bet all kinds of stuff. I think I owe him a lobster dinner. I think he owes me a lobster dinner. But it's like, we never go out to dinner. So, why bother? You want to come to Vegas? We'll sit down, we'll bet. We can say, hey, I'm going to be in Vegas. Winner buys dinner, whatever. Let's do it. I'm not going to bet, though, if we're not going to bet. Pacquiao Broner. I like this one. We could actually have talked about this one tomorrow. Love Pacquiao in this one. Don't even know what the odds are. Haven't even looked at it. Love Pacquiao in this one. I think he destroys Broner in this fight. I don't know if he stops him or if he doesn't stop him, but I think he beats him to an absolute pulp. And I think easy money is Manny Pacquiao in this fight. When we look at Manny Pacquiao's recent fights, and we look at, oh, he's going downhill, his record. Let's look at these fights. Okay, let's look at those fights. Okay, the Mayweather fight, obviously. Okay, he was beat by Mayweather. You know what? He had a sore shoulder. They up until the time when he was ready to get into the ring, it was known that he was going to get an injection in his shoulder. Right before he was about to get the injection, they overruled it and said that he couldn't get the injection in his shoulder. And his performance on the field, in the ring, certainly reflected that. And I'm not saying he would have beat Floyd Mayweather on that night, if he gets the injection, because I'll tell you what, no one else has beaten Floyd Mayweather. And, it's Mayweather's style. It sucks, right? It's so boring, but it's effective and it wins fights. But I think this one is I do boxing. I go to all the big fights. Everybody knows that. They see me at the big fights all the time. I show pictures of it on the website, do videos from the big fights. I'm not going to this one, of course, but I don't consider this a big fight. Pacquiao, easy money here. We saw him in his last fight just absolutely dominating. Now we go back to the Timothy Bradley, the fight that he lost against Timothy Bradley before he avenged it. He won that fight. You can watch it 1,000 times. You can look at the fight versus Jeff Horn in Australia. Horn was out on his feet most of the fight. I think what we know happens in boxing, and I think what happened to Manny Pacquiao, especially at the end of his career, it happened to him early in his, it happened mostly at the end of his career. And take it for what it's worth. Boxing is a weird sport, and you never really know that they're going to fight until the fighters actually show up in the ring. And this comes from people that I know that are closely connected to the sport. The thing is, though, is that we have the two different management companies in boxing, the big ones, Golden Boy and Top Rank. So say Pacquiao beat Timothy Bradley the first time that they met. Okay, there was no one for Pacquiao to fight at the time except for Floyd Mayweather. Top Rank didn't want to deal with Golden Boy, but if they give Bradley the decision, then they have a rematch, with Pacquiao. And then Pacquiao, of course, is going to beat him again. And then, so it'll be 1-1 in actual scoring, but in real life it's 2-0. And then, because it's now 1-1, then you have the trilogy, right? The third fight, the tiebreaker. All a big setup. And same thing about the Horn fight. It was more like finding Pacquiao another opponent after that fight. That's all it was about. It was about having Horn as a viable opponent for a rematch. Pacquiao gets even. It's like professional wrestling. It's like when they put Manny earlier in his career. Not that early in his career, but 6 or 7 years ago, they started putting him in against these gigantic fighters. Guys like twice his size. And it was like, eventually, and he couldn't knock him out, but he would just beat them to a pulp. Remember Margachito, right? He fought him in Texas, and he had broken bones in his face. He hit him so many times and the guy was so much bigger than him. He wouldn't go down, but it was like he broke all the bones in his face from hitting him so many times. It was like eventually they were going to bring in a circus elephant and see if Pacquiao could beat that. That's exactly what happened. But anyways, I like Pacquiao in this one, and that's our 5th pick of today's show. But if you ever get me started on boxing like that, boy, we could do a boxing show every day. I love boxing. Grew up with it, and that's why I love sports. Yeah, boxing is totally corrupt. It's all about, selling tickets. It is not about who's the best in the ring. Anyways, of course, we do the show live every single day. Our best bet's always over at sportschatexperts.com as well as sportschatplace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. Let's get to another pick. How long have we been going? Let's see. Not that that matters. I try not to go too long. But I always get wrapped up on something. Yeah, we recap the picks at the end of the show. Let's go to the New England-Kansas City game. So, Tom Brady is 1-2 over the course of his career at Kansas City. It's one of the few places he has a losing record, and I gotta say, Arrowhead Stadium is a tough building. You know, the Patriots beat the Chiefs earlier this season, but the Chiefs, remember, they lit up the Patriots last year. And I think that one thing that we've seen in the Patriots defense this year is they look slow. They look really slow, and the Chiefs have some real burners on offense. That Tyreek Hill, he creates all kinds of matchup problems. The Patriots don't have one guy that can cover him. And we've seen a lot less teams gouge the Patriots this season. Tell you, the Chiefs' defense is no better, and Tom Brady is going to pick them apart just as well as he picks them, as well as this. I don't know if he has enough weapons to pull out a road win at Arrowhead Stadium in a night game. Of course, the Patriots just 3-5 against the number on the road this season, 3-5 straight up. Losing record overall on the road this season, very, very rare for the Patriots. This is the worst Patriots team we've ever seen, right? The total in this one is set at 56. I know it's going to be freezing cold in this one. Freezing cold. And, of course, someone's going to probably use that as an excuse, but they both play in the same weather. I like the over in this one as well. I think it's going to be, I think that both these teams will score in the 30s. So I like the over in the Chiefs-Patriots game. And that's our first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth pick of today's show. Anyways, Free for All Friday. Hopefully we answered a lot of your questions that you guys had on games. Of course, we're here live every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. No excuses, just free picks. Sometimes if you're traveling or something, it shows at a different time. But generally, around 10:45, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you don't need to send me emails asking if I'm doing a show. You don't need to ask any of this other stuff. But anyways, recapping today's show, we took Maryland +3. Spurs +1.5. Buffalo in college hoops -15.5. We took the over in the Saints-Rams game. Manny Pacquiao to beat the tar out of, to beat the daylights out of Adrian Broner. Over in the Chiefs-Pats. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Have an awesome day.